Hello everybody, this is Anna, also known as Anna Knitter on Ravelry, and on the screen you can see where you else can find me if you want to contact me, follow me around, be updated when I upload videos, and pretty much everything else. And you can support me and my podcast on patreon.com/AnnaKnitter. I want to say a big, huge thank you to my first 2 patrons. So thank you Linda and Lacey for supporting my podcast, and I promise you if I have enough money I will invest it in better equipment so that I can offer you much better quality podcasts, and my goal is also to make some tutorials and something like that. But for that I need other equipment than the one I have right now. So thank you very much. Okay, this is a knitting and crocheting podcast, and this time I have much to show you. So I don't want to ramble on now. We want to start right now with the fiber content. I have 3 finished objects. So the first finished object, let me introduce this segment. I have a whip basket. I will show you my whip basket I have here right now. This is my whip basket. And I don't know, every once in a while I have the inspiration that hits me and screams, finish your things. So I think the last time I had this is 3 months ago, and it was very good. It was like, I think you call it a palette cleanser. So it feels very good to finish off the things. And I had many objects, well, yeah, I have and had many objects which maybe only needed 30% or so and it's finished. So the one is the granny stripe triangular shawl. Yeah, this here. My whole arm span. Yeah, a little bit more than my whole arm span. And I can show you how it looks when I am wearing it, but it's not for me. Maybe the person who will receive it is watching and she already know that she will receive it. And I really like the size. I was worrying, no, I wasn't really worrying because, okay, step back a little bit. I have received from a lovely viewer a little time ago some yarns by Republic of Wool, and this is Republic of Wool in the Smith Miss colorway. I looked up Smith Miss and I think it's a chocolate drink, but I can't understand why this is called Smith Miss because it doesn't look like chocolate. Maybe someone can explain me in the down bar, in the comment field below. So I have received 3 skeins of that yarn. So I thought, okay, now you try how far do you get with 2 skeins, because she also gave me another Republic of Wool colorway but only 2 skeins. So I thought, okay, if it's not enough with 2 skeins, I still have the 3rd skein as a safety skein. And so I finished the 2nd skein and blocked it pretty aggressively, to be honest. So I have 2 nails on my wall and I stretch it out to the 2 nails, and the rest I only let hang when it's wet, so it has enough weight to pull down and block like that. And I think 3 skeins would have been too much, so 2 skeins of a DK weight yarn is definitely enough. I mean, look at this. That's the perfect, in my opinion, for a triangular shawl, the perfect length or width. So yes, I won't add a border because I think it wouldn't be so pretty with a border. Yeah, this is a simple triangular granny square shawl. You only increase on the sides and on the what is it? Is it the edge? No, I don't know. So it's very, very, very easy. And I learned it again by Claudetta Crochet. It's a video tutorial in German, but I think if you type in YouTube granny stripe shawl, there will be many tutorials also in English. But my lovely and favorite teacher, YouTube teacher, Claudetta Crochet, is just awesome. If I don't know something in crochet, I hop over to her channel. So yes, it could have been done very quickly, but I think I had only 2 more rows to do. And for whatever reason, a few months ago, I stopped working on that. So this is finished and I'm so happy. And this comes into my treasure chest. We have this treasure chest along through the whole year of 2018. Crafting in whatever technique you want. Craft presents, put it in a chest, and whenever you want to gift it, pull it out and gift it to the person you love or like or whatever. It's not only for Christmas presents, but this will be a Christmas present. But the recipient already know, because I asked her. I hate the word asked. I know I said it already, but asked. I asked her if she likes the colors, because first I was completely sure that these colors will fit her perfectly and that she will like the colors. Then someone else told me no, she hates these colors and it doesn't look good on her. And then I was unsure, so I decided, okay, I will finish it, but I have another person on mind who would also like these and also like the colors. So, but she will get it, but on Christmas you have to wait. You know who you are. Yeah. And that was my first finished object. So I have still 1 skein of that left. Maybe I can try to make a matching hat. I don't know if these crazy colors are so pretty as a hat. Maybe I will make a solid brim and then in the colors the hat. I will have to experiment a bit with that. But that would be neat, a matching hat. Okay. The second finished object will also get or come into the treasure chest. This, but it will be gifted in the summer, because I have made a loop for my mom, but I wanted to gift it on Mother's Day. Maybe you can remember that I told you. But before Mother's Day we had Easter, and I arranged a very neat package for my parents with many presents inside, also bought presents with a certain value. So yeah, and it never arrived. Thank God it came back to me. But I have experienced it many times now, that packages get lost. I have experienced it overseas and to Germany, and if I craft something with my hands and it takes me many hours and it's lovely, a special yarn, I don't want to risk it. So I asked my parents if it is okay that I collect all the presents throughout the year and give them the presents when we will see each other. And we will see each other in summer, so very soon in July. And long story short, for that I finished now her cowl, and that's the piece. Okay, I will put it over my head so you can see how it looks. I blocked it again a little bit more aggressively than I would have done for myself, but even for myself I think it would be awesome. I like these colors. Because my mom needs a wider circumference, or a bigger circumference. And this is a whole skein of fingering weight yarn, and this is very special yarn, and I hope the person who gifted me this yarn is watching. I received it from Patsy, a very lovely viewer who is watching my podcast pretty much since the beginning, and she dyed this yarn. She is not an indie dyer who sells it, I think. Patsy, if you are selling yarn, please tell me, because in that case I will buy yarn from you. This is dyed in her colorway Peaches and Cream, and I think you can see the peaches and the cream. It looks so yummy. And this is Merino and Silk, so on the Knit Picks Bear yarn. And the stitch is a cluster V-stitch. Well, it's the other way around. Yeah. You do a cluster stitch, then you make a chain stitch and a cluster stitch again, and you go so on. Afterwards I crocheted together, and I think although you can see the seam, it looks tidy and neat. And my mom prefers to wear cowls over shawls and so on. She also likes shawls, but for the everyday life, going shopping and doing stuff, it comes much more handy because it can't fall off. Yeah. And I already showed her a picture and said, hey, it's done and you will receive it in the summer, and she loves it, and because she loves to wear those kind of things. Yeah, again, a tutorial by Claudetta Crochet. Yes, so my second finished object. My third and last finished object I already have posted on Instagram, and I love it. And it brought me back into knitting. I enjoy it at the moment, knitting as much as crocheting. And these are my Knit Picks Felici socks in the colorway Limeade. This is the blueberry waffle pattern. I think you all know the blueberry waffle pattern. I made contrasting heel and toe in a no-name colorway, and it's my size, so it's for me. I knit this on 2.5mm needles. By the way, I forgot. This I crocheted on a 3.5mm hook, and this I crocheted on a 4.5mm hook. And this is US 1 2.5mm needles. And now I have to insert a little statement, because I don't know what happened to all the podcaster. One podcaster, I have forgotten who it was, a very famous one. I don't watch her, but she's very famous. I have forgotten. One podcaster said, why do all the podcasters say with which needles, so the size, they craft their project, because it's so individual. Every person has another gauge, and you have to swatch for your projects, and you have to try out to know which needle size you need. And now every podcaster relates to her and are saying, yes, it's totally nonsense, I'm podcasting. So not me, but other podcasters who are podcasting for years now, all of a sudden say, oh no, that was so stupid, and I won't say which needles I used. And I'm sorry, sorry to say it like that, but the size matters. So for me, it is always interesting with which size of needles they craft with a certain yarn. Because if I watch a podcaster regularly and she is always using, for example, 2.25mm, as many US knitters do, and then she is showing off yarn and explains, oh, for that sock I had to go down half a needle size because it's more skinny, or I don't know. So in that case, I know, okay, maybe I also have to do that. Maybe I would use another needle size, but maybe she is using 2.25 normally, and then for that yarn she is using 2.0, and I would normally use 2.5, and in that case I should go down to 2.25 or even 2.0 needles. Do you get what I'm saying? I think it's always interesting. It's not the specific size of the needles, which is interesting because it's individual, but in general to know which needle size they use, because you will get to know if there's a difference between two sock yarns, for example. In my opinion, I would still say which needle size I used because it's interesting for me. Because if we go on like that, we could also skip to say which needle brand I use. Why should I know that a podcaster use Knit Pro Zincs or Symphony or Haya Haya or Chaogu? It doesn't matter. But in our hobby, it's also about the tools. And again, it's like if someone is a fan of the Zincs, and for example, there's this one project and she says, oh, normally I'm using the Zincs, but for that project I had to use Haya Hayas because of the pattern and I needed a pointier tip. It's interesting, especially for a beginner crafter. It's interesting to know, oh, okay, that's the reason why I struggle with this pattern so much. Maybe I should try a pointier tip. So, and all these things, in my opinion, are still interesting and important. So I will go on with it. And don't hop on the bandwagon of the mainstream that everyone is now saying, no, it's not important. Okay, just a side note. Knit Picks Felici. There isn't much to talk about it because Blueberry Waffle, it's a free pattern. You maybe all know this pattern. And I had much problems with the second ball of the Felici yarn. By the way, someone asked how many balls I used. 1 50-gram ball for every sock. I had leftovers on the two, but I wanted to go on in the color repeat. So I had knots in my yarn and that wasn't the problem, but they were tied together in the wrong way, so the color repeat wasn't correct, and I think I had this 2 or 3 times in the second ball, unfortunately. But yes, I figured it out. You can't see this, I think. Okay, these were my finished objects. Now we come to the works in progress. My first work in progress is my granny square blanket. I have added 1 row, so 10 squares, and now you will see the blanket in its full glory because last time I was in Vienna and haven't had it on the podcast. So wait, I will show you. Which did I add? Oh yes, this row I have added. Okay, this is Gnome Acres and I guess it's Chai Chai. Wool and Vine yarn, Stack the Halls, with a Gnome Acres old Christmas color in red. Gnome Acres, I'm not quite sure if it could be No Place Like Gnome or a Garden Gnome. This is again Gnome Acres and I think it's S'mores. And the rest I don't know. So maybe I can insert a video so you can see the whole blanket when I have laid it on the floor. So because it's too big to show off on the podcast. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rows and I have to do 20 rows to have the size I want to. I enjoy this project. Someone asked me on Instagram, I hope you watch my podcast so I don't have to write it down because I didn't know how to write it in the comments. Someone asked me how I join the squares and how I add the border and so on. So I crochet the color part first, then I add the border And then after I have finished 10 squares, I add the 10 squares next to each other. And after that, I add it row-wise to each other. I hope that made sense. Yeah. I really like that project. It's awesome. And I have already used it in the evening. I posted it also on Instagram because I can already cover myself on the couch. So it's folded blankets have something special in my opinion. Yeah. So my next work in progress, oh yes, it's the crochet shawl. It's the vongole shawl. Vongole is Italian for shell because the stitch looks like a shell. I will show you. I think when I last showed you, I was like here, so not much progress. Oh yeah, I have forgotten. 2.5 millimeter hook, by the way, and only fingering weight yarn. Okay, this shawl I am crocheting with 3.5 millimeter hook. Oh wait, I will show you here. Okay. This is a gradient cake of a non-plied yarn. You see? Wait, you don't see, but you will see in just a second. Yeah. You see it's non-plied. It has 3 strands of non-plied yarn. And it is this gradient. It has 200 gram and 1000 meter. And I'll crochet it until nothing is left. And although I like it very, very much and I would love to keep it, I think it will come into my treasure chest just because, yeah, she has to receive it, in my opinion. I can make another one in this color. I can do. She can't, but I can, so yes. And I will spell who will receive it for, I think, for Christmas. I think. So I will spell, because in case. M-O-T-H-E-R. Okay? I don't say a possessive pronoun because that could reveal to the person who will receive it. Yeah. Yes, because I'm a very selfish crafter and I want to change that. I have many shawls. You can never have enough shawls, but I have many shawls. And I know that she would love to have this, and yeah. And she did very much for me in my life, so she deserves it. Definitely. So, treasure chest. Yeah. It's very easy now. In the beginning it was very complicated for me, but now I think it's very easy. The next work in progress is my, and it's so stupid, is my washed out shawl. And I was so stupid. You won't see any progress, but for me I did progress because, so this is my washed out so far. And I'm using a Homespun House chocolate fondue, Malabrigo Blue Bonnet Madeline Tosh Blue Bonnet Highway. And so I skipped the first color fade. Here I had to fade in the second color, but I didn't because I don't have enough yardage. And everyone said it won't be a problem because it's not really noticeable. So I started here with the second color fade. But this color fade looks different. In that, I think here you should have done every 3 or 4 rows. Then 2 rows in the contrast color, and then again 4 rows of brown, then and so on. And here you have 2 rows, 2 rows, 2 rows, 2 rows. And I haven't touched this for very long, and I looked up the pattern and I didn't check the parts I have done. So I looked at my shawl and saw, okay, the first color fade. Then I looked into the pattern, oh, the first color fade, and I thought, hey, I did a mistake. Why didn't I notice it? I should have done it in another way, and I ripped it out. And then I realized, oh no, it was correct. It was the second color fade. And then I was a little bit stupid. Maybe you can see. Yeah. Finally, in the middle of the row, I started to do stockinette. And I won't rip it back, because I think after blocking and when I'm wearing it, nobody will notice. So I didn't do any progress, because that's the point where I stopped and I showed you last time, but I ripped all that out and knit it again. So it's kind of progress. Yeah, the washed out. And the third color is also a Homespun House Digital Bath. Wait. That will be the third color. That was so stupid, but I really wasn't able to concentrate. So I thought I would work on this because it's only garter stitch, but even though I made a mistake, and on that day I wasn't feeling very well. I was very tired and it was very hot outside, and always when it's hot read the screen. I feel read the screen. Yeah. Because I have a very low blood pressure, and that means always when it gets very hot, the weather is exhausting me very, very much. Yeah. Okay, and my last, yeah. Oh no! Oh, today I said how important it is to say the needle sizes, and today I'm always forgetting to mention it. I'm knitting this on 3.5 higher sharps, because higher sharps are very pointy, as the name gives away already, and it's easier to do the knit two togethers with that. I really need a fast needle. They are very fast, so slicky, or yeah. And my most shawls I'm knitting on 3.5, because 4mm is always too big for me, because I'm a loose knitter. The last work in progress is, after a long time of not touching my, also a Hohi Locatelli pattern, because the washed out is also Hohi Locatelli, is my Feathers in the Wind cardigan. And when I last showed you, I was like here, and I did this sleeve, and I'm a little bit worried that the sleeve could be too tight, so I stopped decreasing. I only decreased 2 times, because it's very, I hope that will block out. When I'm wearing it, it feels okay, because I like a tight sleeve, as you can see. Yeah. That's the way. It's a bit difficult with the needle. Yeah. So that's the way how it should look, and it's fitting under the armpit very well. That's always a problem for me, I don't know why. But I stopped decreasing now. I should have decreased 5 times for my size, but I only decreased 2 times because it's so tight. I know that it will block very good, I think, but I don't think that it will block so much. It's very difficult with only one sleeve, and it's so hot. It's so hot. Yesterday we had 30 degrees Celsius. So, and I have tried many things on the sleeve. I first knit the sleeve on DPNs, but it was, normally I love DPNs, but to turn around always with this heavy cardigan which weighs so much down, it was too fiddly. it was disturbing me. Then I used the Eddie 9-inch circular with the one longer needle. Yeah, but the problem was not that, so I enjoyed the 9-inch circular, but the problem was the weight of the cardigan was pulling down, and so it pulls always in this direction, so I had to knit like this, and that was disturbing me also. And the last thing I could try, and I stay with this now, is magic loop. I never do magic loop because normally I hate it. I'm a DPN girl. But it was easier because you only have to flip around one time per round. But it's, I think for socks it would slow me down, because many people who knit their socks with magic loop always say because they don't want to adjust the needles of the DPNs every time. But I think this takes the same time or even longer, because to adjust these needles it's more, you have to do more than with their DPNs. But okay, here is the sleeve. I really like the color, and this is only marking this side where I have to decrease, but I think I won't decrease anymore, so yes. And yeah, this is Melebrigo Arroyo in the Sandbank colorway, so it's the color how he used in her pattern. I saw that and I loved the pattern and the color, so yes. And my local yarns shop started to sell Melebrigo. Awesome. Yeah. I haven't decided which buttons I will use because I don't know how big the buttonholes will be after blocking, so I will wait with that. And I made the mistake I told you before in the collar, but I think it was a happy mistake because I made too many buttonholes. I was reading the pattern wrong, so I think here 1, 2, 3 buttonholes should have been, but now I have 4. But I think it's better. It will stay up more nicely, in a nicer way. Yeah. So it doesn't take long to knit the sleeves, but I don't enjoy magic loops, so it slows me down a bit. I have knit this yesterday, so it was only the work of the yesterday's evening during watching Law and Order, because I love Law and Order. Yeah, that was my last work in progress. So that means I have worked on every object I have on the needles at the moment, besides my 2 other blankets. And I only wanted to show you that I still have and love and want to go on with my granny stripe blanket. I think I will insert a video here so you can see how far I am already with this blanket, because it's very huge. Now this is as big as my granny square blanket. So you can see granny squares for me are much faster than granny stripes. But I want to go on with that. And I want to finish these blankets very soon because they are so pretty and I want to start them. And the other blanket is my crochet blanket in the blue colors, blue, white and brown colors, but I haven't touched it since I last podcasted, so I don't show this today. And the last thing I want to show you is an incoming goodie or incoming goodies by Sandy, a lovely viewer from Germany. And she already has sent me this 2 weeks ago, I think, 2 or 3 weeks ago, but I podcasted in Vienna, so I haven't had this with me. So she packed so many nice things. This is caramel sugar. I think this is very delicious in black tea. I could imagine this. And then she sent me Sokyan minis and Sokyan biggies. I don't know how you say this. So I have, oh, they smell so good. They are from the Opal Advent Calendar. That's awesome. They come into my granny stripe blanket. And then this, I haven't seen this before. This is called Opal, so relief. Do you also say relief? There is this stitch in crocheting, relief stitch. Maybe I can find a translation. It's with a pattern on the to do this. On the other side of the tag there is a pattern, but I think I won't do this because I like plain socks. So pretty. I love these colors. This light blue and the other colors are making me happy. Yeah. Here is the, so it's, the colorway is called relief wave. And the other one is also blue, and this is for me. I don't know why, but this is for me. Oh, Opal Abo. This is from a subscription. I have thought about subscribing to the Opal yarn, but yarn club you would say, I guess, but I haven't done. This reminds me of Sherlock Holmes. This is Sherlock Holmes colorway for me. I don't know why. Is there colorway name? No, obviously it's only because it's the subscription. Yeah. Oh, and this smells so shippy. I love Opal. Opal and Regia are awesome. And she added, oh my gosh, so specialties for me because I love these brands. Puka, Earl Grey, and Kappa, Skinny Vanilli. Oh my gosh, that smells so good. Lemon and ginger, and spearmint, and I don't know, because it does only say Ayurvedic recipe. So awesome. And my sock knitting mojo is back. Oh, I have forgotten, I have another work in progress. I was going to say that my sock knitting mojo is back, and I'm knitting a pair of socks for my mom. The Hermione's Everyday socks on 2.5mm Haya sharps on my own hand-dyed yarn in the Mother of Pearl colorway. I don't want to have it blow it out. Oh, here you can see. Yeah. I will add a contrasting heel and toe again. Yeah. 72 stitches because my mom needs a wider, it's wider for the leg, but I will knit this size, so my foot size, nearly my foot size. Yeah. Because 72 is for a bigger foot size normally. I have explained German sock knitting before, so yeah. So I will decrease after the leg. I haven't finished a Hermione's Everyday sock yet because I have always used the wrong yarn for that. So I thought this is only a semi-solid that should look pretty. I have always used much too busy yarn. So that was definitely my last work in progress, but it's a new object. So yes, that was everything for today. There was a lot. There was really a lot. And today I will see. I think I should go on with the cardigan to finally finish and block it. Don't forget, if you want to support me, you can hop over to Patreon. choose your pledge. There's $1, $5, and $10. And everything I earn from there, I will invest into equipment for the podcast. So that was the last I wanted to tell you. I wish you a very happy knitting week, and hopefully we will see each other next week. Bye bye!